Okay, we're still dealing with the factor theorem, all right? We have been given this polynomial 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x plus 6. We have to factorize it, all right? We've already done that. We found one value, which when we put it into this polynomial, it gives us 0, all right? And that value is 1, all right? If you substitute 1 for x into this polynomial here, you are going to get 0, all right? So after we found our first factor, all right, we have to find now our other factor, all right? This is x to the power 3. So we know that we're going to have 3 factors, right? So we've already got our first factor. Now we have to get our second factor. So we're going to use synthetic division to obtain our next factor, all right? So already x minus 1 equals 0, x equals 1. So this one which is here is the one we put outside here. We list our coefficients in the and our constant in the polynomial. The coefficient of x cubed is 2. The coefficient of x squared is negative 3. The coefficient of negative 5x is negative 5. And our constant is 6. We begin, we drop our 2. 1 times 2, that is 2. All right. Negative 3 plus 2, we get negative 1. 1 times negative 1, we get negative 1. All right. And then negative 5 plus negative 1. All right. Negative 5 plus negative 1. Negative and positive, it becomes negative. All right. It becomes negative. All right. So we get negative 6. All right. Negative 5 minus 1, we get negative 6. 1 times negative 6, we get negative 6. 6 plus negative 6, we get 0. So we've done our division, right?
Sir, excuse me, sir, just there.
Mhm.
So you get 1 by 2. That's the 2 that you put down there.
Yes,
Then you add.
yes.
How are you adding?
Negative 3, like we drop down this 2, right? Then we say 1 times
Yes.
2, we get 2, right? Then we add negative 3 plus 2, we get negative 1, right? Then we say again 1 times negative 1, right? We get negative 1. Then we say negative 5 plus negative 1. That's the same as negative 5 minus 1. We get negative 6. All right. Then we say 1 times negative 6, we get negative 6. 6 plus negative 6, we get 0. Are we okay with that? Multiply, add, multiply, add, multiply, add. That's the sequence. Multiply, add. All right. Remember, in long division was divide, multiply, subtract. Here it's just multiply, add, multiply, add. All right. So after you're done with the synthetic division, this last row represents the remainder. The next row represents our constant. The next row, it is our x. And the next row, x squared. So our new factor is 2x squared right? Minus 1x, we can just write it as x, minus 1x minus 6. All right. We've got a quadratic equation here. All right. We have to break down this into linear factors, right? Because remember, we have three linear factors, all right? Right now, we've obtained 1 and 2. So this one, we're going to break it down because this one has got two linear factors. So we're going to break it down to two linear factors, all right? So remember, our quadratic equation is in the form of ax squared plus bx plus c. So our a in this case, the coefficient of x squared is 2. Our b, the coefficient of x is -1. And our c is, which is our constant, is -6. All right, -6. So the first step, we're going to say a times c. All right, a times c, that is 2 times -6. And we're going to get -12. So we have to find now two numbers. When you multiply them, they'll give you -12. When you add them, they'll give you -1. All right, so we have to find two factors of 12 that can do that. We have 3 and -4. 3 plus -4, you get -1. 3 times -4, you get -12. Now, we're not just going to write it as x plus 3 and x minus 4, right? Whenever you're doing a quadratic equation with a leading coefficient, which is not 1, all right? If we never had this 2 here, if it was x squared minus x minus 6, we would have just simply wrote the factors as x plus 3, x minus 4. But since we have a leading coefficient here, what is going to happen here is this quadratic expression, we're going to expand it, all right? We're going to expand it. It's going to become 2x squared, all right? 2x squared, right? This is the part you also have to be careful. You have to see which one you have to bring closer to 2x squared. So 2 and 4, they look like they can factorize with each other. So say 2x squared minus 4x plus 3x, right? Plus 3x minus 6. All right. What has happened here is this negative x here, has been split into these two. Okay, -4x plus 3x. That gives us -x. All right. All because the leading coefficient is not 1. All right. If the leading coefficient was 1, would have done it, would have been done by now. But here, since the leading coefficient is not 1, we're going to have to split this middle term. This negative x has become -4x plus 3x. These two factors we found here. All right. So now what we're going to do is we're going to factorize by grouping. All right. Factorize by grouping. Basically, what I mean is we're going to factorize 2x squared minus 4x and we'll factorize 3x minus 6x. All right. So 2x squared minus 4x, our common factor is 2x. Okay. Between these two, 2x squared minus 4x, our common factor is 2x. Okay. That is our common factor. All right. 2x squared divided by 2x, 2x squared divided by 2x, that is x. All right. 4x divided by 2x, -4x divided by 2x, we get 2. All right. then we come this side here. 3x and 6. What is the common factor? It is 3. All right. The common factor between 3x and 6, it is 3. 3x divided by 3, that is x. Negative 6 divided by 3, that is negative 2. All right. So now we have got this x minus 2 is similar to this one. So we break it down as 2x plus 3. All right. And then we have an x minus 2. All right. And we have our first factor, which is x minus 1. All right. So we have factorized this polynomial. All right. 2x cubed minus 3x squared minus 5x plus 6 breaks down into x minus 1, 2x plus 3, x minus 2. All right. So that is our answer.